Well, greetings and welcome to Reaching the Next Generation. I'm Bishop Jerome Jones, and I am delighted to be able to share with you this short broadcast. I wanted to take a moment to let the audience, know that we are yet in our School of the Prophets. School of the Prophets is just awesome. We're in the midst of it right now as I do this broadcast. It is Saturday afternoon, and we are inviting you to be in the School of the Prophets tonight. If you're in the Leesburg area, that's at 2005 John Street in Leesburg, Florida. So we're inviting you to come and be a part of what God is doing with the sons of God here in Leesburg and around the world. We're also streaming the broadcasts in Jamaica, also in Canada, and locations in other states here in the United States, as well as down in Trinidad, as well as the Bahama Islands. Throughout the world, this broadcast is being streamed. So we are inviting you, if you can't be in the physical building with us in Leesburg, then by all means join us online as we conduct this School of the Prophets with Apostle Mary Banks, Bishop, also Apostle Michael Thomas, Apostle Kareem Flowers, myself, and a host of other bishops, pastors, and the saints of God. We want to invite you to invite a friend to tune in online. That's right. You can tune in. They're streaming live. Also, if you can't see the stream and you want to listen, then go over to btbnradio.com. That's btbnradio.com, and you could listen to the School of the Prophets services live on btbnradio.com. So I encourage you to do that. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you later on some of the things that I can share with you regarding the trip to Africa. I've had many to ask me, several more today. Bishop Jones, I'm waiting to hear your testimony about the mission to Africa. Some walked up to me today and said, "We have not heard your whole testimony. We waited to hear your whole testimony, or when you're going to do that." Several this morning in the services. And I have said to others since I've been back that the time is going to come where I will sit down and share my full testimony of the mission there in Africa. And I'm going to do that, and I believe the date that it's going to happen is on the 27th of this month, on a Wednesday. I'm going to sit down and record the testimony that I've experienced in the mission to Liberia. And I want you to hear this. I've heard and I listened to things as we move forward. And one of the things that I am hearing from God is that we should do nothing, absolutely nothing, until He says so. So I've been back now since March the 18th or 19th. And I have not had the unction to this point. And, it's just so critically important that we obey God in every aspect of our lives. I've said, and this is my declaration, that nothing matters now but pleasing God. And we have to really own that if that's going to be our testimony. We're not concerned about the camaraderie. We're not concerned about, man's testimony of us. We're not concerned about the materialistic things in this life. but our utmost concern, our utmost ambition is to please God, to go where God would send us, and to say what God says through us, and to stand where God put us to stand. And so I want to say to you about the mission to Africa. There are many things took place in that mission. Things that you don't know and nobody knows but the people that were there. There are many things that took place. And so while you are hearing bits and pieces, you have not heard the full testimony of what God did and how God did it, and the miracles that God worked. I'm talking about miracles in ministry, in the ministering of the word. I'm talking about literally seeing the miracle of God work. See, I have not talked I have not talked about those miracles, and I have not done so for a specific reason, because I will only speak of them when there's an unction of the Holy Ghost that brings glory to God. We can't try to take credit and have that honor of God's glory self-imposed on us. We must recognize at all times that all of the glory belongs to God. And God has worked miracles, and he has allowed us to experience them. He's allowed us to be there and party to what he has done. And so I am really excited about it. I'm talking about, you preach about miracles, but I'm talking about actually being the instrument that God has worked with to do that miracle. And then I'm talking about being the one on the receiving end that needed the miracle. I'm talking about this from so many different perspectives that I have not yet uttered a word to anyone about, to the extent that I'm going to be sharing in the testimony. So I want you to listen. I want you to watch this testimony, and I want you to know that we're still laboring. We have established some things in Liberia. We have established some connections and contact with people that will serve as to continue to advance the work that we are moving forward in fighting hunger and homelessness and helping the people of Liberia. And we have a campaign going on right now. You'll see a flyer on the side that's talking about fight hunger and homelessness. And we have a goal that we have set is to minister to 200 families. We're talking about feeding 200 families for a whole year. And then beyond feeding them, we're talking about getting members of that family into a trade school, into a vocational school, so that they can get a skill set and get jobs and be able to work and establish businesses that will help them economically, so they can continue in the quality of life that we are assisting them in right now. Some of the people need homes. Some of them need, they all need clean water. They need food to eat. And so we are funding this. And I want to ask you to really take a stand and help us by being a partner with us to help us in this effort to help the people, not just in Liberia. There's people, we're talking about people in Pakistan, people in India, people in Uganda, people in Kasai, Kenya, people in Gambia, people in Ghana, people in Nigeria. We're talking about the evangelizing the world, the nations of the world, through the help ministry and through the word of God. So if you are saying, well, Bishop, I want to help, then I want you to reach out to us. and you have my information there. You can reach out to us, and by all means, you have our links there in which you can share your gifts of support. We're going to be sharing with one of the missions is connecting us to Morocco, connecting us to Algeria, Libya, also Egypt, and these are nations that we are also having ministerial projects in. And so when we are talking to you about the project, we're talking about getting Bibles, holy Bibles, to people that don't have any. We're talking about getting clean water and rice to people that are hungry and thirsty, and many times starving to the point of becoming violently sick, or and we're talking about helping them in their medical in a way that they won't need the medical treatment because as they did before, because they will not be drinking the contaminated water that they have been drinking. And so there's a lot of components to what we are doing, but there's so much of what we have done. We are looking at crusades. We're looking at, because our ultimate end is to minister the gospel of Christ to the nations of the world. I've been called to do that. I've been anointed and appointed to do as such. And I've established a work in a ministry base there in Liberia. God has done so, laid the foundation there, established the personnel there, and set up a structure there for the ministry to advance. Well, we need to have others pour into that ministry. We need to have others pour into it, and as you do, you may say, well, Bishop Jones, what can I do to help? Someone asked me just today, says, what can I do? Can I go get some rice and water? And the answer to that was no. You don't want to go get rice and water, because we're going to buy it from right there. We're going to buy the rice and we're going to buy the water from right there in Liberia. We're not going to buy it from the States and ship it there, because it would be much too expensive to do so. I was listening, and you might have heard some numbers that was conflicting when you heard that it will take 46 cents to get a bottle of water from here versus 10 cents there. It's actually the other way around. We could actually buy the water here at about a dime a bottle if we got it wholesale, and then we ship it there. It would be approximately more money to ship it. But if we purchase it there the way that they have the water now, it would be about 46 cents a bottle. But what we have found we found a way to purchase the water there for really, really cheap. Much, much cheaper. It won't be 40 cents a bottle. It won't be 10 cents a bottle. It'll be a bit less than that. And so we are working to get the best prices for the materials and for the food and water that we can get. And in doing so, we're able to help a whole lot more people. These people are dying, many of them, because of the disease that they are getting from the water. As I make this broadcast, Evangelist Mark is sick with malaria. This is a dangerous sickness there, and they have no ability to go to the doctor. So I'm saying to you, we need your help. We need you to help us. We need you to stand with us. And Reaching the Next Generation is a ministry that God gave us. God named it, and He told us that's the name that God gave us. Reaching the Next Generation. It's on our radio broadcast. That's the name of the radio broadcast, Reaching the Next Generation. Now, I don't want you to get that misconstrued. It's not a separate entity that just stand alone. It's a ministry that has been birthed through myself by the Spirit of God, as just as if God would call us to minister in any facet, in any form, in any direction. But our passion for reaching the next generation is to ultimately bring the word of God's truth to that group, that nation. And to do so, as we do that, we are able to see, when we go to do that, we're able to see that there are many needs that they have. They're in such poverty in the areas that we go into ministry. A lot of people don't even attempt to go in these areas. They don't attempt to help those that are helpless, those that are hopeless, those that are destitute. But that's not us. We're going. We're going because God said go. We're going because we done sold out, and we're going because nothing else matters. And listen, there's not going to be room for craftiness. There's not going to be room for deceitfulness. There's not going to be room for pride and arrogancy. There's not going to be any room for vainglory, because all the glory belongs to God. All of it. And everything has to be done in transparency and honesty and purity. And I just love it, because God sees behind every wall, hears behind, inside of every room. He knows all the details, and he knows when the heart is pure. He knows when the heart is righteous. He knows when the heart is being governed by him. So I am so thankful that we can sit here today and say we have a pure heart. Say we have a righteous heart. We have nothing that would impede God's ability to use us for this purpose. And so we're saying to you, you could stand with this cause, and we can change lives around the world. There's a link on my flyer, on the flyer right there, that tells us how we can give at the Cash App. And there's also a PayPal link, which is simply my email address, and you can give, use your credit cards or whatever to give there. But let me encourage you that if you say, Bishop Jones, how much does it take to feed a family? One family of 4 can be fed with food and clean water for $750 for the whole year. That's $750 for the whole year. That's less than $2 a week. That's about, it's just amazing to think that for less than $2 a week, we can feed a whole family of 4 and give them clean water, food to eat, and help their medical situation as well. So I'm asking you, would you be willing to sponsor a family or a partial family? You may not be able to do the whole thing. Maybe you only got $10 a month. That's okay, because that $10 a month is like a $10,000 to those people that are hungry, to those people that are the thirst, to those people that are homeless. So we're saying to you, or I am saying to you, in a personal way, the scripture has declared in Proverbs 22:9, he that giveth to the poor lendeth to the Lord. So I want to encourage you to give to the poor. I want to encourage you to help. We have much that we are looking to do. We are into getting these families where they can sustain their own life and their own livelihood, with them without having to need this assistance all the time. So we're not just giving them help for the moment with no thought about what happens next. No, we are taking a holistic approach, which is to say that we're going to help them for the moment. Yes. We're going to sustain them for a year. Yes. But at the end of that year, they will be in a position before that year's out to sustain their own livelihood and maintain this quality of life without having to revert back to drinking contaminated water. starving for lack of food, being severely ill because they can't see a doctor. They will be able to do that. How would they do that? Because we are putting them in vocational school right as we speak. There's others that we enrolled in school already. To enroll them in school, we pay their tuition. We pay their tuition to the school. We pay the tuition for their uniforms and for their materials, and we pay for the entire tuition so that they don't have anything to do in trying to get their tuition. They have to make sure that they now focus on learning, focus on being educated in that trade, so that they can come out of that class being with a full ability to function in that trade that will land them in a much better place. So we're asking you to, yes, stand with us and help us in the name of the Lord. Well, I'm not going to continue much longer. I wanted to just take this time. It is Saturday afternoon, and I hope that you are being blessed. Listen, I've said this before, and I just feel it in my spirit time after time after time. The only thing that matters is to please God. And there will be people that won't understand. There will be people that will try to guide you another way, or try to turn you to the left or turn you to the right. But that will never work now, because the only thing that I have an interest in is pleasing God. And God has already said to me what to do. God has already told me what to do in the mission, in these missions. And when God gives you a plan, stick with the plan that God gave you. When God shows you something, it is to be just like He showed it. And so I am so thankful that God has allowed us to see and allowed us to experience. But I want to take time to share with you the testimony of the mission to Africa, because I hope in doing so, it will inspire others, it will encourage others, and it will also show you the power of praying saints, the power that comes as a result of the love of God flowing through other saints. Because I had many challenges there in Africa, many. And some were just extreme hardship, and then I had these other challenges that was extremely dangerous. So we want to share with you, and it didn't matter what the challenge was, God delivered. And so I want to share with you those experiences. I won't be able to tell you all of the experiences, but I'm going to share with you those, even experiences where God met with me, where God spoke to me, where God revealed, just manifested Himself in form to us. And there are things that I heard and was said that I won't be repeating. I won't be saying. It's not expedient for me to do so. But there is so much that we can share, and we're going to do just that. So I hope you'll stay tuned for our broadcast when we do our testimony of the mission to Liberia, West Africa. Well, I gotta go now, but I hope that you've seen the flyer. I hope that you understand that we're looking for your help to be a blessing to people that is throughout the world today, that is hungry, that is thirsty, that is homeless, that is in need of the love of God to be experienced in their lives. And I hope that you'll do that. I also want to invite you once again that the School of the Prophets is taking place at 2005 John Street, Leesburg, Florida. It's on again tonight at 7:30, and then tomorrow morning at approximately 10 o'clock. And I want to invite you to come. If you're in the local area, come. Make sure you're there. Don't miss what God is doing right now. Also, if you can't be in the sanctuary, then join us online. Go to marybanks.net and you can get the stream there. Go to, you'll see it on Facebook. You'll see it on YouTube. You'll also can listen to it on btbnradio.com. That's btbnradio.com. You can listen to it live there and be a part of it, because this is special. This is something so special that it will change you forever. And if you participate you will have the effects that God expects you to have. And so I am so glad that I get the opportunity to invite you to come go with us into the School of the Prophets 2022. Well, I gotta go now. I'm Bishop Jerome Jones, and I am saying to viewers here and around the world, if you go with God, I know that God will surely go with you. And until the very next time, you do not by all means have yourself a Jesus-filled day.
It's time to see our liberty, a light flowing down from the heavenlies, and we are here reaching out. The Word of God is all we need. Who the Son sets free is free indeed. So God, please speak to me, reaching the next generation.